Hello, everyone, and welcome to another small screen Star Wars. As always, I'm Julian Meush. I'm joined by Rachel Wilkinson.
Hello.
And we're going to be talking about today Season 1, Episode 3 of The Acolyte, titled Destiny. This is the first single episode after the 2-episode premiere, directed by I thought this was interesting. One word.
Yeah.
A single name. A real Prince situation. Konganada is the name of the director. Obviously still showrun by Leslie Headland. Right. I was mistaken last week. I said she directed all of them. That was wrong. I kind of felt like I knew that was wrong at the time, but it's wrong. So anyway, she's a writer, showrunner. This is also written by Jasmine Flournoy and Eileen Shim.
Okay.
So the logline is as follows. On a mysterious planet, the tragic journey of two sisters begins. So yeah, this is a flashback.
Yeah.
Which I feel like comes at the exact right moment.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. I honestly not necessarily was expecting it this early in the series, but I liked it. I was like, I think this is, I don't know. I was pumped about it.
Do you think there's a world where this was the original first episode?
I mean, maybe, but I feel like it kind of ruins a little bit of the mystery and the suspense of the first. Like, I liked the way they had it, because I think it's more intriguing where you just are dropped into a story where there's an assassin killing Jedi. Like, I think that's more intriguing.
You weren't intrigued by the
I am.
subpar acting equality of those two girls. Listen, we're not here to be
they're kids
to be crapping on this movie. You're right, but there's good child actors too.
I guess I didn't think their acting was
Lauren
that bad.
Brady and Leah Brady. These are the twins that played the two girls here.
I honestly didn't think their acting was that bad.
I just thought the very first line. There's a couple lines that are pretty brutal. I thought one of the very first lines in the in this episode, I was like, ooh, I cringed a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It grew on me.
Yeah.
But there's some funny stuff later, very close to the end when they're like, "What did you do?" And she's like, "What did you do?" And they're like, "What did you do?" 3 times. And I was like, that's so funny to me. 3 in a row. But anyway,
it's very sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots to unpack here.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, just a little bit of housekeeping. So, follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Tower Babblecast. That's the best way to keep up with everything that we're doing and when new shows drop. If you also want to subscribe to us, I guess here's the thing. I always talk about if you want to help support the show, do so by going over to Patreon, patreon.com/Tower Babblecast, and you get access to a free monthly film club episode. It's not free, I guess, a premium exclusive monthly film club episode. But speaking of free, if you want to help support the show for free, the best way to do that is to subscribe to us on your podcast player of choice, whatever that might be, Apple Podcasts or YouTube. I think YouTube does podcasts now. I don't know how that works. Don't ask me. Or even better, leave a review, a nice one. I always say if you have grievances, the email address is towerbabblepodcast@gmail.com. Happy to listen to your feedback.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's constructive.
Yes.
Which I got to be honest, more than you can say about the feedback that the Acolyte is getting online.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer. I don't know.
Are you surprised?
I mean, I guess not from how crappy people were being before it was even...
Yeah, it was review bombed before the episode even premiered.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to me. It's I don't know. If you don't want to give something a chance, that's fine. But I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't be... Don't review bomb something if you haven't watched it. Or if you... I don't know.
I think the thing is there are individuals who've gone and review bombed. I think most of the review bombing comes from a small few who have weaponized bots to do it, largely speaking, because...
Who has the time?
No one has the time.
Why?
Well, no regular
somebody
people
has the time.
Yeah.
It's that's just wild to me. I don't know. I feel like your time would be so much better spent doing something positive.
Yeah. So I went a little back and forth on Twitter. I really got to stop feeding the trolls.
Yeah.
It's really a problem. But there was I got engaged with this one thread where it just felt so silly because this person was complaining that, well, what are the odds that 2 twins would have the exact same haircut almost 16 years later?
They don't.
Well, their hair is pretty similar, right? You could argue one's longer. Is that? But the front's the same.
Are they talking about the braids?
I think the braids,
I'm not sure what you call that, dreads or box braids or whatever they are, but it's
yeah. So this okay. So,
I have so I just.
But this the conversation was like, oh, it's a sign that the showrunners don't care. And my response at the time was, it's not that they don't care, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
It's that they wanted you to think that they were the same person.
Yeah,
that was all. It was intentional. Like, well, then that's just a plot contrivance. That's what other people would say.
Right.
Again, there's a million reasons why someone might have the same haircut as their twin 16 years later. Mostly because they were raised on the same planet by the same person and probably taught to do their hair in the same way.
Yeah. It's right? Whatever. They're keeping some resemblance of their past and their childhood, and like they just like wearing their hair like that. Like whatever. But also the Mae's hair's way longer. She has like way longer like braids that go like down her back.
Right.
If you look, like I don't understand. I get it that it's the same style of like twist or braid or whatever it is. That's insane.
I guess I would just say that
such a stupid gripe.
Story contrivances happen all the time. Where this is not a recreation of reality. This is a story we're telling.
Yeah.
So in stories, we take shortcuts all the time for the sake of the story.
Right.
Or for the sake of the story, payoffs and you could argue that sure they maybe pulled the rug out from the reveal a little too early. In one episode, it feels a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
That being said, the goal was to put you in a mind space where you thought they were the same person.
Yeah.
For at least a period of time. And that, I think, largely succeeded. So you can complain about all this other stuff, but ultimately these decisions are made because the story deserves it. There's obviously examples where like things like Deus Ex Machinas, where someone just appears out of nowhere to save the day, is problematic because, yes, the story demanded it because the person wrote it that way, but it feels unsatisfying. Whereas this there is a satisfying story purpose for this. Anyway, this is all to say that we're in a very difficult time in Star Wars right now because it's really hard to untangle the weave that is the good faith criticism from the bad faith criticism.
Right.
So instead, you end up in this situation where you really have a hard time saying, do you not like it because you think the writing is a little stilted? My argument would be the writing in Star Wars has always been pretty stilted, so, maybe you just don't like Star Wars that much. On the other hand, it's like, maybe you don't like it for other reasons, but it's hard to separate the two because the trolls are intentionally weaponizing all criticism to make it look like everyone doesn't like it. And that's just not true.
Right. Yeah.
So we're going to do this. We're going to purge this whole episode by reading this 1-star IMDb review. So
you're feeding them right now.
No. This is gonna help. This is just gonna get it all out of the way.
Okay.
And then we won't have to talk about it because I think largely I did enjoy this episode.
I did too. Yeah.
It's currently sitting at a 3.9 out of 10.
It does not
IMDb,
deserve that.
Which again, if you look at the ratings, it just seems the numbers seem a little skewed. 53.1% have given it a 1-star review, and this is 2.6 thousand reviews comparatively to the rest of all the different ones between 2 and 10. Between 9.6 or 470 reviews to 7.7%, which is 377 reviews. It just seems a little skewed, unnatural, as like the word that they used in this episode today. So again, we're going to read this 1-star review because I like to believe that this is a different 1-star review. I came back and it loaded a new one. So here we go. This one's called Execute Order 66, which does feel a little strong, but here, whatever. Through the years, I've been the biggest Star Wars supporter. This is from The Last Dawn 81. Almost to the point where I would go out of my way to find the good in everything they release. To be quite frank, I just sounded dumb. Okay, I see where this is going, but we're going to continue. I try my best to make sense of The Rise of Skywalker. You don't have to. That movie's bad. I'm that kind of Star Wars fan, but I think this might be the episode that has finally done it for me. I think I'm done. I've watched a lot of bad Star Wars, and it seems to be getting worse yearly, but this might be the worst that I've ever seen. I've tried my best in my head to make sense of it, but sometimes the answer is that it just absolutely sucks. We reach the point where they don't even try to hide their agendas. Here we go.
Okay.
Now we're getting into the bad faith criticism. I hate being the person to say this, so you can just stop there. You don't have to say this, for the record, The Last Dawn. You don't have to. I really, really hate it, but it's obvious. When I look back into the past, I remember this episode as the reason I stopped watching Star Wars. I'm one person. And it doesn't matter what I say, but I'm just expressing my feelings here in this review. I officially lost faith in them. Here's the thing. He says their agendas and then doesn't go on to explain what he thinks those agendas are.
Yeah.
So it's left ambiguous. This is a part of the the difficulty in being able to detangle real criticism from this type of criticism, which is that this perceived slight against the original concept that I guess Star Wars was designed to be apolitical, which of course it cannot be by its bare nature. Anyway, sorry, what do you want to say?
Nothing. I read ahead, and I know I can see it.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit too, because it's a lot of just like, I'm done, I'm tired, yada yada yada, disappointed. It's obvious they don't care about their fan base. So this again isn't true, because we'll talk about this as we get into the review today. But there are so many threads, if you will, between the messaging of this episode and what it's trying to convey, and what the prequels were saying about the Jedi, or what the Last Jedi was saying. Not, God forbid I bring up that cursed title, which I love that movie, but it has a lot of the same. Maybe that's part of the reason why people are grappling with this in such a difficult way. They just don't like to see the Jedi cast in a negative light. But it just makes me think that they weren't paying attention to any other Star Wars media. So
yeah, no. It's the next comment there. It's that where they say that.
Oh, sorry. It's obvious they don't care about the fan base and are content catering to a small group of blue-haired individuals. Is that?
Yes. Yeah. You know what? I know exactly what type of person this is, and it's like, man, you're a bigot. Like, I'm sorry, you're just mad because you think it's
Star Wars is for lesbians.
It's too gay. And it's just like, man, like, fuck off.
And by the way, nothing that even just because there's a group of
it's witches, a matriarchal group of witches.
Doesn't mean that they're lesbians.
No,
for the record.
It doesn't. And even if they are, that's fine too. Like, you're mad. So they have two moms. It's like, well, they call everyone mother. Like, it's like it's a coven thing, first of all. But even if they are, why does it bug you so much? Like, literally, why does that bother you to the point where you're like, I'm not going to watch Star Wars anymore? They're not pandering. Like, it's just like, you're the only one getting upset about it. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, this is the kind of thing where it's like, I'm not even... It doesn't even hit my
mad. I'm just
radar.
Disappointed.
Like, it's just kind of like, I don't understand why it's such a trigger. I don't know.
Okay, so this is the part of the stuff that's separate from Star Wars today. It's larger. It is this culture war concept that's really, and as I've seen people say this online, which is just like, these are things that only people on the internet say.
Yeah.
You don't, you might listen. I'm sure next time I have a chance to talk with my, normie friends about what they think about the Acolyte, some of them will probably say they didn't watch it. That's fine. Those that say they did might say they didn't like it, but they're probably not going to say they didn't like it because they thought that they're trying to push an agenda down my throat.
Yeah,
they're catering to the LGBT or the rainbow. What do they call it? The rainbow? I don't know.
Like, whatever they are, the blue-haired group. It's
exactly.
like, okay, so you think it's too leftist is like what you're kind of saying. Whatever.
Or I guess it's hard to. It's again. So what they're doing is they're saying, I don't like this, but the reason I don't like this is because it's not being catered to me.
Yeah,
and that's really not the point. Anyway, that this is all designed to get this all out of the way. So to say that this is happening, people are saying these things.
Yeah.
It's really hard to decipher where people's honest feelings about the show are, what those honest feelings are versus what these kind of bad faith arguments about this. It's not that it's bad because it has, blue-haired women. That's what they're saying. It's because they've abandoned good storytelling in favor of trying to insert these things as if those things are mutually exclusive, as if you could say that they are writing these stories intentionally making it bad, quote unquote, because they are trying to push an agenda. When in fact, what is happening is they are including people in their storytelling. Yeah. By the way, this is written by and show created by a woman. Right. So, never mind the fact that we've already seen covens of witches in Star Wars. Tons. Never mind that. Yeah. There's I just feel like people are confused. This is not why you're mad. You're mad about all sorts of other things, inflation, all this other stuff. Yeah. This is not no one's trying to make you gay by watching Star Wars. I like that kind of stuff.
It's not even central to the plot of the story. It's like, it's not even like that review in particular is like, it bothers me because like, you're not even.
He spends half his time just groaning.
Yeah. You're not even mad about like the writing or the story or like anything. Like you're just mad about a set of characters and who their like parents are. Like that, you're mad that they're women. Okay, cool.
Because like, I guess,
but that's not central to the story.
We're inferring this because they refuse to be specific about the things.
Well, of course, because
they say
you can't
agendas and catering to blue-haired women.
Yeah,
and everything else is just I don't like this. It's just my opinion, but I don't like this. And it's like, well, you're wrapping up your opinion with the fact that you believe that there are agendas and that it's targeted to cater to blue-haired women. So we can only infer the spaces in between what you don't want to say.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to say it, just don't say it.
Yeah.
Like, I just like, you know what I mean? Like, just don't say anything, you know? So I guess, anyway, it just frustrates me because as I was saying to Jeremy, who's of course the co-host of our main show, that I just don't get it. What do you want?
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is deep Force lore stuff.
Really cool.
Really
too.
Interesting concepts around potentially how, you know, Anakin's origin and how that stuff plays together, where, you know, the role of the Jedi, you know, in its late stage period as it relates to things like the, you know, organized religion and its effects on, you know, paganism potentially. There's like all these really fascinating ideas to explore here.
Yeah.
But instead, we want to just complain for seemingly no reason. So
for like a very small subplot of like,
and then, furthermore, the show is not over. This is episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get everything you want. This is an overarching theme. I beg you. I'm going to look you right in the camera here.
I'm fired
We're
up.
live on YouTube and Twitch every Wednesday, 7:30, 8 o'clock Central, give or take. Divorce yourself from your expectations. What you want this to be does not have to be what it is. Take the show, meet it at its level, right? Again, that doesn't mean you have to like it. It just means like, hey, the show is trying to achieve these things. It's laying out its its story in front of you. Is it the story you wanted? Maybe not. But that's not the point. That's not the show they made.
No.
So is it achieving what it's trying to set out to do? I think largely it is. Again, it's not perfect. There are some things, as we talked about last week. I think this episode actually does a lot better job of providing a better sense of place, for instance, than we saw in the last two.
Right.
But just meet the show at its own level. You seem to believe, and I'm speaking the royal you, those who are upset about what Disney Star Wars is, etc. That it isn't what you want. That they're not listening to the fans.
Right.
You know, the numbers say otherwise. First of all, the viewership numbers say otherwise.
Yeah.
Second of all, every Star Wars movie, the last major ones, made over $1 billion. Right? We haven't had one in a long time, and that's upsetting to me. But I would say Star Wars is trying a few new things, including this. This is something new. So you can't possibly expect to know what this is going to be and then be disappointed when it doesn't meet that.
Right.
It's not fair to the show. So, and it's not really fair to yourself because it doesn't really give you an opportunity to like it because you're going in and you're disappointed because it's like, well, they should have done this. Well, don't write the show. We say this sometimes.
Yeah.
Which I stole from another podcast I listened to.
Yeah.
From The Ringer. Don't write the show. Midnight Boys, great podcast. But that's enough. Anyway, that's enough. We've done enough of the preamble.
Yeah, like it's, I don't know. To me, I'm just
disappointed in people. That's all.
It's like, are you really like it upset? I don't know. Like it ruins it that much for you that. I don't know. So like, if the gender of one of these mothers was switched to a man, you'd be fine.
Was it like, what if it was a bunch of dudes and two twin dudes,
and you'd be fine?
Would that be better? Like, I don't get it. Like,
it cool?
It just seems exactly the same to me.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It should be. It's just funny that as soon as it's like one thing is a little outside of like a heteronormative situation, that it's like, oh, it's an agenda. It's like, no, it's just like different characters and different stories and like a different.
But their sexuality is not even
doesn't matter.
It's not even brought up.
It's not. It's really not.
It's not even.
I guess that's what I mean.
It's not barely even hinted at.
It's not even a central story plot line, which is like why this is so crazy that people are that upset about it.
It's just very upsetting to me because I really like Star Wars. I want people to like it. I'm not saying you have to like everything. Again,
no.
But I just think you're not really giving it a fair shot. That seems to be my sentiment. And again, if you are review bombing it for the sake of just like trying to send a message, there's better ways. So here we go. Let's get into the breakdown because again, I think we liked it. So
I did. Yeah.
Let's start with that. We've done our negativity purge.
Yeah.
And we are going to now talk about your overall feelings.
Yeah. I 100% will. I thought this episode was really great and very cool. Like I think it's my favorite one so far. I mean, there's only 3, but it's giving us so much cool lore. And we're getting this whole like, man, covens of witches are always cool to me. It's spooky. It's neat. It's like, it gives us that vibe of like, okay, are they night sisters?
With the Coven of Witches. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Musical with Coven of Witches? I don't know.
It's like, I want to say it's called Wish or something like that.
Are you talking about Wicked?
Wicked.
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that just like Wizard of Oz? But
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But there's I just remember seeing the most recent thing I remember seeing about a Coven of Witches was the trailer for the musical Wicked.
Yeah, Wicked is. I think it has to do with the Wizard of Oz.
Okay,
I believe
the Wicked was from the West.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I've never seen it, but
and the other witch.
Yeah. I was like, witches are cool. But anyways, I'm pumped about these witches. I love seeing different Force users, and these are Force users that feel like they're being either like not hunted by the Jedi, but like
say hunted. They don't say by who, but it's presumed.
Yeah, right. So we're like, okay, like we're in a time of like Jedi being like stifling another group's the way of using the Force.
Mother Anastasia says it's not about power. It's not about good or bad. It's about power and who has the right to use it.
Right, and which is very neat. And anytime like we've seen these matriarchal societies in Star Wars before, they're very cool. The Night Sisters are the same.
Very recently in Tales of the Empire, we saw a very almost. You could almost argue that potentially one of these characters comes from that.
We don't know. And like
sect.
To me, that's neat.
The Mountain Clan or Mountain something.
Because they obviously use the Force in like a different way. It's not all ichor and green, and like they don't call it magics yet. But like I said, this could be a different group. This could be something similar.
Right.
But again, we're getting some really neat.
Expansion of the concept of around Force users in general.
Yeah.
I think, people think of the Force and they think of Jedi and think that's fair because that's what we've always gotten.
Yeah.
So where we are now is a world where, okay, we're going to rewind the clock a little bit and we're going to talk about what was life like and you can even rewind it further and there's probably even more sects of Force users.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure in fact, in the Screen Crush recap, they talk about the the open hand, something of the open hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From the High Republic books, which is another group of Force users that believed in hands off, don't use the Force.
Right.
That to use it is to damage it, all this kind of stuff. Again, these different ideas and beliefs around this thing that we know exists, right? The Force, we've seen it in action, right?
Right.
So the thing that's unique between the Star Wars universe and our own world, where we have our own organized religions, and a lot of them share similar beliefs, but bicker about small differences, right? Like Jewish people don't believe that Jesus was the savior, but Christian people do, and they still yet believe in the same stuff that the Jewish people do, just a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's a weird, and obviously wars have been fought over these things, and a lot of people die.
Yes.
I mean, I think part of the message that they're trying to send with the show, by the way, is that this concept of organized religion around owning this belief is inherently bad and toxic and ultimately corrupting, as we know about the Jedi. So, in our world, the Force isn't real. No. People's beliefs in these religions are based purely in faith, right? Whereas in this world, the Force is real. Yeah. So their beliefs in it are based in faith, but it's interpretations of something that we have seen perceived from one perspective. And the Rashomon connection, which of course is the one of the more famous Akira Kurosawa movies about seeing events from different perspectives.
Right.
And we have to assume we're going to see the events of this episode take place from different perspectives as well.
Yeah, there's definitely more to like what happened here.
Yeah,
right.
Because it's like there's like a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this was more like Mae's perspective, or no, Osha's perspective, but we're going to probably see Mae's at some point.
Yeah,
but.
I mean, I think we have to.
Yeah.
I can't imagine we're going to have this, like another full episode of it.
No.
But I think, we'll get
the
to
missing
see
pieces.
Missing pieces.
But yeah, no.
I guess it's just fascinating to me to see how people come at the Force from different perspectives.
Yeah.
In that same vein.
It's just very neat. And like we're even getting lines to like obviously like all of our good OG stuff. Like Anakin didn't have a father, neither do these girls.
Right.
Cool. These witches figured out how to do that too, the same way that people theorize that Plagueis did, right?
Even better, they say one of my favorite lines from Star Wars, which is, some may find it unnatural.
Yeah. Exactly. Like these are all like things we've always kind of wanted to know about. And it's like, okay, maybe we're going to get little like blips here, like another instance of this happening, which is like kind of cool. So like, I mean, but maybe not. Maybe it's a red herring. Right. Maybe they're not like even close to this thing.
Maybe exactly. But who knows? It's still fascinating. Yeah. Or is this are they a Force dyad?
Yeah.
In the same way, that Rey and Ben were.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
which is also a fascinating concept that was poorly explored in a bad movie. But the idea of a Force dyad is interesting. And Palpatine in that movie says something that hasn't been seen in generations. It's been generations since the events of this compared to the events of Rise of Skywalker. So there are all sorts of possibilities.
Yeah. I just think the story is still like really intriguing about this. And
the role, what role did the Jedi play in this tragedy?
In this tragedy that happened. Yeah.
Why
exactly.
did Torben drink poison and take a vow of silence for 10 years?
Right.
We always see him do is like take some blood and his eyes go black for a bit, but that's not his fault.
Yeah, it gets a little possessed.
It's a little possessed. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these are all like very neat ways of using the Force, at least for me. I don't know. It's maybe a little bit more dark side, but we don't even know that.
It is 100% more dark side.
Yeah, it is. Possessing someone for sure is, but we don't know what else these women
are. Is that different from a Jedi mind trick?
That's what I mean. It's not much different. It just, his eyes go black, so it's scarier. But
right.
It looks spookier.
It could be like when, we saw Sabine get possessed once and her eyes were glowing green.
And Ahsoka.
Right, exactly. So we've never... Exactly. There's just a lot of threads, as they talk about in this, to other things. Ultimately, my takeaway for this episode is I thought it was refreshing to be in real world setting, right? So they actually were on a field somewhere, and you could tell.
Yeah.
The shots of these mountains looked compelling, and the fortress looked cool. The planet with the twin moons, which now ties really into not only the title card, but also the concept of twins in general. It's really, I think that's cool. Planets aligning, interesting. As I said at the top, I do think that the performances from the young twins, young Osha and young Mae, left a little to be desired. I just did not. They had a lot to do, and I just think that they weren't really able to convey, I think, the gravity of some of the things that they were kind of being asked to carry.
Yeah.
That being said, I thought Jodie Turner-Smith as Mother Anastasia was striking and really cool. I think seeing another Zabrak is a fascinating idea because it instantly connects you to the other Coven of Witches that we're familiar with, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting connection. I think, did they use de-aging technology on the Jedi in this one?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
And I gotta say, pretty good, because I didn't know, and I was like, I can't tell. Are they? Do they look younger? I would like to see a side-by-side comparison. If anyone has that, please send it to me at Tower Bible Cast. Because
Torben is he from Game of Thrones?
Yes, Torben is. He was Tommen on Game of Thrones. He's the one who jumped out of the window.
Yes.
Spoilers for Game of Thrones, but it's a little.
It's been years.
It's been a while. Anyway,
if you haven't seen it, you won't remember who he is.
Exactly.
By the time it happens.
Exactly. Anyway. It happens so late in the series, so it's like whatever. Anyway, Dean Charles Chapman, just being tasked with suicides over and over and over again, I guess.
Typecast.
Yeah. The thing is, I think he has that really funny wig in episode 2, and the funny beard. I think that was part of we need to make him look older.
Yeah.
This is much more close to how I think he actually looks right now.
I think so too.
As the Padawan. So maybe that makes me think that we'll see much more of him in that role and more flashback. I don't know. But I guess in general, I would just say that I think the pacing was a little not great. The kind of tragedy at the end of this episode, as we talked about, I think designed to be perceived from only Osha's perspective.
Right. Yeah.
However, the way that we get to see it from Osha's perspective leaves so much out that it feels weird to me. Like,
okay,
it's like she turns around, all of a sudden that fire is huge. It's like, how did that happen so fast?
Well, I think that's part of it, right? Because we're like led to believe her sister said it, but it's like, well, did she? Like, she was, probably didn't help.
There's a lot of things. Did she? Maybe she got Jedi mind tricked. I don't know. There's all these things that we don't know. But what I'm saying is that the pacing of it feels so odd that I want to be more invested in the death of all these, like Mother Anastaea's death and all these things that just like happen so fast. And you're like, oh, okay. It doesn't really get its chance to land. And maybe we'll have a chance to do that later. But I'm just saying for the purposes of this episode standalone, the pacing felt a little weird to me.
Right.
So.
I think maybe that is slightly purposeful because they might want to show it later from a different point of view, like actually how the mothers, like, and all from this coven, like, die.
Certain point of view, perhaps?
Yeah, from a certain point of view. Yeah. So,
by the way, all idea of take different perspectives is like core to Star Wars because the very first time that they had to do a retcon, they had to basically say, oh, yeah, no, I thought you said that Vader killed my dad.
Yeah.
He did technically from a certain point of view kill your dad.
Yeah.
Spiritually, that is, or psychologically. But who needs details? So that kind of thing is like core to Star Wars. So it like doesn't bother me at all. But I just think, again, given the kind of less than A+ quality of the performances from the kids, which I hate to critique child actors, like it's so annoying. I sound like such a douche, but like
I didn't think they were that bad.
Anyway, good for you. I'm happy for you.
At least I didn't know. Like I didn't notice it, but I also didn't notice that with the guy who plays. How people were critiquing him last time, Master Soul.
Oh, right.
I didn't think he was bad either.
I thought he was way better in this one too.
Yeah, I thought he was great.
I thought he took another step forward in terms of his performance.
Yeah,
like when he says, like, "I think you'll make a great Jedi" to Osha. I thought that was like a really heartfelt, full of emotion line read. So, okay. That's, I think, overall thoughts. Let's get into this breakdown. This is about 43 minutes, which is, again, I think a sweet spot in terms of, like, I'm very much okay with a 43-minute episode. 42 minutes, if I recall, is what a 1-hour episode of television was like when they had commercials.
Oh, okay.
Back in the old day. So this is like
back
in line.
In the old day.
When if you watch like an old sitcom and it has no commercials, it's like 42 minutes uncut. And then, so this is kind of similar to that.
Right.
Obviously, where most people are used to, like, if I have a streaming show that's an hour, it's going to be like exactly an hour or right around that.
Right.
Star Wars has never really felt the need to follow that rule. I guess the closest one to that would be Andor, which of course is the bar for quality and storytelling in Star Wars television. But I will just say that I had no issues with this runtime. So let's get into it. Okay. So this starts with we basically spend the entire episode on Brendok. We get the title card Brendok and 16 years earlier. So right away we put ourselves in a position we know where and when this is, and we've already been told what happens where and when this is. So I think personally I was expecting to see the fire at the end of this episode. The tragedy.
Yeah.
So that, and which is interesting. It's, we talked about the prequel effect. This is that same concept just shrunken into a single episode, right? We went ahead, told a story, and there's nothing new in Star Wars about telling a story non-sequentially. In fact, it might be its biggest trait.
Yeah.
So we start, 16 years later, we get to introduce these characters. Then we're going to jump back and we know what to expect, but how does that happen? Let's find out. That's kind of the whole, point of this episode. I also respect that they spent the entire episode in flashback. I think that was also the right move. So opening shot is of a mountain and valley. Really, again, this looks like a real place, probably is. And we get, the camera swooping through this valley and over rocky outcroppings. When we get to see this old, like, Stonehenge-like monument, very similar to things we've seen in The Mandalorian. and even in again, what was the other one? In front of that dam in Andor.
In Andor? Yeah.
This like the second arc, and they remember their
when they do the
that ceremony.
heist.
Yeah, in episode 1 and 2 of that heist arc.
Right.
There's that like those locals all come to that one Stonehenge like thing. So again, we're seeing this idea of these old shrines to something, and we've seen that be used for the Force with the Jedi, and it makes us, I think the idea is to make us think that is potentially maybe an old Jedi something or an old Force something.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting, and it certainly adds to the world building. Next, we see what looks like a yellow weeping willow that they've color graded differently, but it's actually a bunta tree. So this is where they get the poison from.
Yeah. It's very cool looking.
It is very cool. It's very striking.
Yeah, very striking with the blue mushrooms on the tree trunk too. It's cool. It's just like, it was very pretty.
And then the see-through butterflies.
Yeah, it's just like, it was such a pretty scene. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think this is another example of where, in contrast to I think some of what we saw last week, a much better sense of place.
Yes. Yeah.
And establishing and using real world locations. I don't know if this is a real world location, if that's on set or whatever, but it looks enough like it is to be believable, and that's what's important. So Osha is playing with a transparent butterfly thing. Her sister Mae arrives and is like, "What are you doing here?" And they start bickering right away. And this is what I mean. I was like, I felt like the line, it's like, just felt really forced, the bickering. And like, it happens all episode long.
Right.
And to me, it just gets on my nerves a little bit.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like, we could have started with something that was a little less combative right from the start. Like, we already know that they're different, but I think it would have been, not
like
to write the show,
build.
A slower build into like, oh no, they do have bigger differences. They might, even at this young age, they have differences, but they're still sisters. We don't really even get so little time with them where they actually like each other. In fact, none, almost at all.
Yeah,
that one where they're forced to hold hands.
Very one-sided to me. Like, it feels like May's very much like, no, we do this together and we're twins and like we do everything together, right? But like Osha's like, well, I want to do my own thing. She's like, I don't want to do everything you do, and like, so that's kind of like the vibe that I get, that Osha's the one that's like trying to push back and
maybe
like,
that's
take a step back.
Maybe that's that perspective thing. Maybe we'll see it from Osha's perspective.
Yeah,
May will think that a perception of it, and what we'll see is that Osha is much more of the brat, right? But I guess we'll find out. Anyway, they bicker about their differences, like, again, immediately. Osha doesn't want to do the ascension ceremony. This is the first time we heard that. What does that mean? We find out later. On the way back from the tree, Mae insists on doing their like rhyme that we heard when she had her Force vision.
Yes.
By the way, the Force dyad thing, we didn't talk about it last week. I think it makes a lot more sense when you think about it this way. And I'm not going to steal the credit for this, but both Screen Crush and some of the podcasts I listened to talked about this idea. I think it's compelling, which is that when Rey and Ben in The Last Jedi were communicating through the Force over long distances, it was being facilitated by Palpatine.
Right.
We know that there's a larger Sith presence in this, right? And then we have this concept of these twins that were created in the Force, almost a Force dyad by nature. Again, we haven't explored that concept in depth yet in the show. That might be also a red herring, but the idea that they were able to communicate through the Force despite not knowing that each other were alive feels like it was maybe facilitated by someone else, which I think would connects to the sequel stuff, which is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, they do the rhyme. The thing that strikes me about like the performances here from the girls is that, like, you're right, Osha's like whole thing is that she wants to be independent, but I just find that she's just so glum the entire time.
Right, yeah.
And she's like, she doesn't want to do the rhyme. She doesn't want to do the ascension thing. She doesn't want to hold hands. She doesn't want, it's like, she's just a grouch the whole time. So it's really hard to be like, get on her side about this stuff.
Right.
It helps that we know her as an adult and we like her. She has a more likable personality. But if this was episode 1 and we never met these people before, I think most people would be like, Osha's the worst. She's so annoying.
Yeah. Like, why does she want to do anything? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, like the reasoning makes sense, which is that she wants to be independent. She wants her own independence. But the way it comes across is so bratty that it just, again, it's hard to like. So on the way back, Mae insists on doing the rhyme, but they're found by a Zabrak woman named Coral. So do you want to talk about the potential connection here to maybe the Night Sisters and the mountain people?
Mountain tribe. Yeah, I mean, they very well could be, right? Because it's similar like species, but I don't know. It's so confusing when it comes to like the Zabraks and Night Sisters and like the
boys, the
Dathomiri men, because it's kind of like convoluted there. But yeah, I mean, obviously could be a connection there because she's the same species as the Night Sisters, basically. Right. So, it'd be it's got to have a purpose. Like they're not just gonna. To me, I think it'd be a wild choice to make her that species and it not have a connection. But I mean, maybe they just kind of want to throw you off.
It could just be hint at it, and that's fine. We might never know that. I mean, the coven is destroyed at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
And they're 8 years old when this happens.
Yeah.
So what Mae and Osha may know about the history of the coven might be lost already. Right?
Yeah.
It's just hard to know. So either way, I don't think it's an accident.
No, that's what I mean. Here. I don't think it's an accident either. It's definitely purposeful.
So I really like her look, by the way, like blue with like these like lines along the side of her head. I just it's not as intense, obviously, as the Maul tattoos, markings and stuff. But the horns look good. I think it's just like a really good example of what Zabraks can look like in live action.
Yeah.
Anyway, Soul is watching them, skulking around, and watching them from the trees. Cut to the title sequence, which now has a little bit more bearing because the moons are blue and red. How that works exactly is unclear to me, but the moons are blue and red, so that's kind of another connection to the twin concept, and then the twins obviously in the blue light side dark side connection.
Blue red,
yeah, exactly. Next, we get an establishing shot of their fortress, which is really cool, really sweeping, warm music here. It's built into the top of a mountain. I just think it's a really cool design for really anything we've seen in Star Wars. Up there with some of the best bases we've seen.
Yeah, cool base.
Yeah. Inside the fortress itself, there are women of all types milling about. The girls want spice creams. Do you think these have actual spice in them?
Oh, like the drug? No, I think it's like
it's just a fun
spices.
Play on ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just like a cute.
Yeah. I know. It's just funny because they brought that up in the Screen Crush thing too. And it's like,
is there drugs in it?
Are they what are the chances that they're feeding drugs to these kids? But unlikely.
Hilarious.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a psychotropic drug, right? Maybe it's good for force training.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, Coral doesn't think they deserve it. They ran away. They weren't supposed to do that.
Right.
And she doesn't think that they've earned it. But that's when we meet Mother Anastasia. She arrives, and she's really their closest to what their true mother is, which is wild because we find out later that Coral actually carried
them. Yeah, which is.
But they see Mother Anastasia as their mom.
Yeah.
Which is, it's just like an interesting dynamic.
It is, yeah. Well, it's also kind of like it gives me the vibe of like when you have like not the good parent, but you have the mean parent, the strict parent, and the fun parent, where it's just, a lot of times it's the dad, like, fun dad and mean mom is how I say it in my house. I was like, oh, you get to be fun dad and I have to be mean mom, like telling him not to do stuff.
Yeah, like Skylar from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Everyone hated her.
No, exactly. So it's like you have the fun parent that just like lets them do it. It's like they don't deserve ice cream. They're not listening.
The first 2 episodes of the 8 Simple Rules to Date My Teenage Daughter.
Oh, I used to watch that show.
Fun show.
It's a very good show.
Well, it's just a little like it's of its time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is fair enough. I'm not going to judge it for that.
Yeah.
But that show is like whole thing is about how he's trying to be more strict as a dad.
Yeah.
But is really bad at it.
Yeah.
It's really
funny. Gets walked all over.
It's really funny.
Yeah. It's a cute show.
I'm impressed how many jokes they cram into every episode.
Right.
It's like everybody has like a little snide, snarky line. It works. It was a nice palate cleanser before I watched this episode.
But yeah, no, it's like it's a very it's a typical dynamic in a household of like you're getting in trouble from one parent, so you go ask the other one if you can have something, right?
Well, in this case, it's like she just comes out, she's like, no, they can have it. Like she just right away overrules her, and she's in charge of everybody.
Right.
So she has this kind of like, you know, the matriarchal thing going on already.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So as the girls get ready for their training, Anastasia and Coral talk about the risks of the visiting Jedi. I guess there's Jedi on the planet that they're aware of, and that, you know, the safety of their planet, their coven, relies on staying secret.
Right.
And we learn more about this later. Coral is worried that Osha is being too reckless and that Anastasia is too lenient with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'd like it, the response for Anastasia is interesting. She says Osha is just testing her boundaries. This is normal behavior for a child. Right. Which feels true to life in terms of like conversations a parent might have about the, you know, something their kids did that was wrong, but not super bad.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But as Coral points out, the twins are not normal children. Right. So they need to be treated with special care.
Right.
I think this is a part of the reason that Osha's maybe feels the way that she does is because they're treated as so special all the time, but they are special, and it's not her. She's not special. They are special, and she wants her independence.
I feel like it's also too like it seems to me like there's not a lot of kids around in this coven.
Well,
like they're the only ones.
Yeah.
Like they're the only ones. It's like that's got to be lonely for kids where there's only the two of them, but they're not allowed to actually like go and be kids. They're not allowed to go do what they want, right?
It seems like the nightmare for a twin perspective. It's like you're already look exactly the same.
Yeah.
You have to do everything the same all the time, dress the same, and there is literally nobody else to be like independent with. And that, again, I don't have a twin, but I do have a brother and a sister, and so I know for a fact that those feelings are real.
Yeah.
But I've never been in this kind of, this is an extreme example.
Yeah. Well, and can you imagine like that as a kid and then like also being like, oh, you can't have any friends because like there are no other kids around.
And also you can't leave the house.
And you just have to like be an adult and do what we say and whatever, right? So it's like, they're obviously going to feel a little trapped. Like I understand.
And then they're going to lash out.
Yeah.
Naturally. They are a little young to be like having like the like teenage style lashing out. But this is just kind of more of like growing up and, understanding who you are as a person. Separate from your sister, separate from your mom.
Exactly.
Right? Anyway, there's an interesting, Mother Anastasia, she pauses and considers this kind of feedback she's getting from Coral. And, it's funny that Coral is like the tough one because it's like the Zabra actually think of them as like tough people.
Tougher, yeah.
So, yeah. So next we go to this training session. Mother Anastasia is talking about, this is really interesting. Everything that happens in this scene I think is fascinating. She talks about a thread woven through all existence, and she like pulls her hands apart like this. If you can see, if you're watching live, and you can see the Force, which we've never really seen before. We've seen magic, right?
In like the green
magic with the K, with the green in the animated series. Then we saw a version of it a little bit in Ahsoka, which is like a visual representation of the Force, but not really in the same way that when we think of the Force. When the Jedi use it, it's invisible.
Right. Yeah.
And here there's this like tangible nature to it, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder, like, are the Jedi not taking full advantage of their connection to the Force? Are they partially blind to elements of it?
Yeah.
Like, why are they not able to visualize it in the same way?
Right. I mean, well, when you think about it, there's even... with other Sith, right? Like we see the Emperor with his Force lightning too. So like he's obviously harnessing it in a different way than the Jedi do because the Jedi don't do that.
Right.
So I think it's got to have a little bit to do with maybe tapping into like what the Jedi think is dark side. Magic, but again, maybe the Jedi are, like maybe they're being a little too uppity about what is dark side and what is light side.
100%.
Right?
Seems that way.
Yeah.
So the showrunner, Leslie Headland, talked about how she wants to tell the show from the Sith perspective.
Yeah.
You could argue that the first 2 episodes are not that, and I think that's true. They're not really. They're told mostly from Osha's perspective.
Right.
If that changes going forward, I think that and I'm certainly not the only one to have thought this, but it seems like the goal of what they're trying to achieve here is this idea of like, let's explore that idea. That line that Luke says in episode 8, about how the Jedi believed that without the Jedi there was no light, and that was hubris. Right. And that was this belief that they owned, controlled, or the representation of the light side of the Force is not true. They're just another faction, ultimately, right?
Yeah.
That got big enough and powerful enough and strong enough to kind of set these rules.
To make these rules, yeah.
But they are arbitrary, right?
Yeah.
The natural force of the universe cannot be controlled, right? And this is what she says here. She says, some call it a force and claim to use it, but we know the thread is not something you can wield.
Yeah.
So, this is this perspective on this new perspective on the Force that is different.
Yeah.
Which is like, again, we've seen the Jedi stuff for years.
Yeah.
That's the only version of that we know. That and the Sith, really.
I mean, yeah.
In what is essentially a holy war. And now we get these other perspectives, and it's different but similar. It has these similar things. Like she says, pull the thread, change everything. It ties you to your destiny, which is interesting because it does. She talks about destiny later, about it being not controlled by the Force, but I guess tied to it still. And I don't know how you make that distinction necessarily. She says
like
later,
fate, right?
She says that your destiny is not controlled by an anonymous force, so you get to decide.
Yeah.
But here she's saying that the thread, which is again their term for the Force here, ties you to your destiny.
Right.
So, but you can't wield it. I feel it's a little bit mixed messaging there.
Yeah.
To me, because it's like, okay, if you can't wield it, then you can't make a choice. Then the thread is controlling you.
Right.
But if you can make a choice, you can change things. You can, as you said, pull a thread. So
yeah.
I guess what she's saying is that there is a flow of this. I'm working this out in real time.
Yeah,
so
it's like I said, it's your fate and it's your destiny. So it's like some people think that you're fated. You may have this.
Well, fate and destiny, I think, are different.
No, they're different. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like you may have this point that you're supposed to hit, but
the thread,
there's different ways to get there. And like if you do like deviate, like you can change your fate. Or you can change your destiny.
But it takes exactly.
But it takes a lot.
You have to choose to do it. And then follow a new thread. Again,
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Let's not pretend like the Jedi's lessons always make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you mean don't try? How do I do something if I don't try to do it?
Yeah.
And it binds you to others, which is again maybe another hint at the Force dyad concept here, right? But I also think of Obi-Wan in A New Hope talking about how the Force binds the universe together, right? It penetrates us and binds the universe together.
Yes, yeah.
And kind of the same idea here, using similar language, I think intentionally, right?
Of course, yeah.
Because it rhymes.
Because it rhymes.
Mother Nassea does a demonstration about the power of one, then the power of two. I was a little confused. We found out later that this whole power of many concept, but how did you interpret this like demonstration that she was doing here?
What do you mean? I kind of like it's that they're stronger in numbers is kind of what I got. Like it's like you're on your own and you're just using your own power, but if you're like if you're part of a coven, if you're part of a group, if you're part of a team, it's like you can pull the Force from others to use that.
It's greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah,
I get
that's
that
kind
idea.
of what I.
But in that demonstration, she's like the power of one,
and then
she does, and she pushes her back, and then she's the power of two, and then she pushes them back too. It's like I don't understand. There's no you achieve the same thing both times. I just don't think it's a good demonstration of what she's trying to
Fair
show.
enough. Yeah.
Anyway, this really annoyed me. By the way, was like this really contrived bickering that they're doing while this really cool demonstration
like in the background.
Going on.
Yeah,
they're like pushing each other, and it's like the whole time, and no one says anything, no one notices, and it's like
no one's scolding them.
I don't know. It just to me the way that it's played out feels unnatural. Like that's not how they would be behaving.
Yeah, like they're just like It's kind of like the director's like just like fight like how you would if your parents aren't watching.
And just like shoving each other back and forth.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
it just feels weird. I don't know. I don't have kids, so I can't. And it's been a long time since I've been a kid, so it's hard to say. Maybe that is what people do. But this is just my perception of it. So she says, at the ceremony, you will see the power of many. We do see that later. The girls continue to fight, so Mother Anastasia demonstrates her power on them and pushes them over. Of course.
I do it too.
Maybe do you think this is her like taking her less like the advice about being a little bit more stern?
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
So she's like, okay, defend yourself, and so she like force pushes them, and then Mae jumps in front of Osha and like protects her. So you already like you get this kind of indication of Mae's place in the family, like this twin pecking order.
Yeah,
that she's kind of like in charge.
That and with even in the like the kind of very first scene, and like when you see Osha and she's kind of playing with that little bug and she's being like relatively gentle, but then Mae comes in and Mae's being a little more aggressive, and Osha has to tell her to stop.
Right.
So like I kind of still get that vibe that like Mae's a little bit more like forceful. She's a little bit more not dark side necessarily, but she's just a little stronger, more willful. Yeah. And like Osha's a little more passive when it comes to that. Like she doesn't necessily like
Which is actually why she'd make a good Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
If she had finished her training. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Anyway, Mother Anastasia, this is an interesting thing. I wanted to see what you think of this. Mother Anastasia hears a sound come from the reactor room, like their power chamber thing. Which is next to their training room. This is not an example of a bad sense of place.
Right.
So sends the girls to their rooms, but then she goes and checks what's going on. You hear this little zappy sound, and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong. What do you think the deal is there?
I have no clue. And that was the other thing about like how the sense of place seems a little like that could have used a little bit more explanation of like what is that? Why? What's the deal?
But it's there on purpose, which makes me think that like maybe we'll get to see the Jedi were spying on them during this whole process, right?
Yeah.
And that's like they made a sound, and she's like, oh crap, the Jedi are here. Just like she couldn't that kind of thing. But I have to assume we'll get more if we're going to see these events play out from a different perspective, which I hope we do. That this scene will be explained because it's very weird.
It is odd. Yeah, I kind of thought that too. I was like, what was that about?
What's the point
like, what is that?
Yeah. Anyway, so back in their room, Mother Anastasia talks to Osha about her worries about the ceremony. She doesn't want to do the ascension, which is what makes them witches. I guess they become witches when they do this ascension, and we don't really get a clear understanding of what that ascension actually entails.
No.
Like
other than getting a face tattoo.
Getting a weird face tattoo.
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
Yeah.
How did how is Mae different from Osha by having gone through it and her not having gone through it?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about too. Like if there is any difference other than just like if it's like just a vow, or if does she have this like extra power?
It does seem
like
there's more to it.
It does. It seems like there's more to it than just
force stuff is like pushed into her.
Yeah, exactly. It's like giving her more like power, making her more powerful somehow.
Yeah, but again, it's not really explained why. We kind of just get the broad strokes. There is a ceremony. The ceremony happens, and you become a witch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think it's kind of like wild that they're trying to like force Osha to do it. Like if she doesn't want to, like I don't know. Like, why are you gonna make her?
I think that's where Mother Anastasia tries to take a softer approach. On this, I think there's a realization that she's like, she really should like I brought her into this world, so that she could be a witch,
right?
But if she really doesn't want to, I'm going to give her every possible opportunity to change her mind.
Yeah.
But if she keeps pressing on it, then I can't force her.
Right. Yeah.
But I think, in her heart of hearts and Mother Anastasia's heart of hearts, she would prefer
of course
that she did that.
Of course. Yeah.
Right. This is funny. Is not as a parent myself, but those who are, you being one of them, there does seem to be desire that your kids like the same stuff that you do.
I mean, a little bit. Like, obviously, like right now, because he doesn't have the say on things.
Right,
like, I put him.
To choose.
He wears a little Yoda hat, and he wears Star Wars things, and like But as someone who is going to be a parent to a real. He's not a real person, but he's a baby now. When he has his own
chit-chatting about his perspective on the Force,
when he has his own likes and dislikes, like I'm gonna listen to that. I'm not gonna be like, you have to like Star Wars and you have to go play hockey. Like that's not gonna be us as parents. Like we're gonna let him like choose the only things he wants to do, because you see how it messes kids up to be forced into things that they don't like doing and that they've never liked doing.
We've literally seen that story told countless
so many times about like people being pushed into stuff, and like even like
even Harold and Kumar has that whole sequence about he doesn't want to be a doctor. God damn it!
Exactly. Like I remember like being forced to do stuff as a kid that like I didn't want to do, and it's like it wasn't about being like defiant and being like a shitty kid. It's like I just didn't like. Right, I think you should be allowed to not do things.
I think there's a difference between like putting your kids in a position where this is like, we're going to put you into soccer because it's a learning experience to be on a sports team. And it's like, you might not want to do it, but you're going to get stuff out of this that is beyond whether you like soccer or not. Yeah. So this is going to happen.
And like do it for a year, and if you really hate it.
Yeah, but later... that you'll have the opportunity to say, okay, well, you've done it, and you can say you don't like it,
and that's cool.
But you've done team sports, so there's like certain things that you're like when you have to go to school.
For sure,
there's no you don't have a choice about that, right? You don't want to, but you're getting something out of that. So there's like the decisions can be made, obviously for your kids, and I think there's a position here where Mother Manasea could have said, no, you have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But
which happens
I think she
a lot,
chooses not to in this case.
No,
I think is commendable.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mother Anasea makes the two of them hold hands. But Osha doesn't really seem to be into it. This is what I mean about earlier. She just doesn't seem to be into anything.
Right.
So Mother Anasea makes them say they love each other, even though, again, she's like, ugh. They're like the way she says that I promise later, I love you. It's like all just very forced.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, she says the ascension is about walking through fear. So again, this is another kind of thread to themes in Star Wars that we've seen before, right? The power of fear, and especially interesting when the Jedi have this aversion to fear, that it is the dark path. We know where fear leads, as Yoda describes, right? And we know how the Sith wield fear in a certain in a particular way.
Yeah.
But this is neither the Jedi nor the Sith, so their perspective on fear is also interesting.
Yeah,
but more in line with the Jedi than it is certainly with the Sith, because what she says is that it's about walking through fear, overcoming it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Sacrificing yourself, the power of many instead of the power of one. Right? They're talking about team sports. This is about
team
understanding that there are forces larger than yourself, and that committing yourself to a coven is to tap into this larger. Yeah, a sense of self that is
larger group or whatever.
A sense of community.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just to me, or at least at this point right now, these witches in this coven, they don't necessarily give me like bad guy vibes yet.
No, not really.
So
some little hints that like if we were watching the story from the Jedi's perspective, that they might look like bad guys.
Yeah.
They draw their weapons pretty easily, and they do chanting, which is usually bad sign.
Oh, they're chanting. Yeah.
Is what I say about anytime I see people doing yoga and chanting. I'm like, ooh, those are bad people for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Okay. So Mother Anasea says that Osha may be mistaken because she's young and cautions her about the risks of the larger galaxy. You think you want to be a Jedi now, but you are special. I want you to stay special. She says you and your sister are special. I want you to stay special. So she's trying to protect their innocence to some degree.
Right.
She says that the larger galaxy is not kind to them, to people like them. Which again, it's hard to tell if she's talking about the Jedi here. It's just saying that like, as a non-sanctioned Force user, people are going to be the Jedi will be after you, but also people get freaked out by people who have powers.
Right.
So, keep that in mind.
Like the X-Men.
Exactly like the X-Men.
Yeah.
This is like this exact conversation could be in X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I think, it's a truism, this idea that like, you're a kid, you don't know what you want. Right. And I think that's Osha's Mother Anasea's initial reaction to this whole thing, which is like, yeah, I understand your feelings about these like independence and these other things, but that doesn't mean you have to be a Jedi.
Right.
Right. There's the we are trying to protect you. Please respect that. I think she grows. The Mother Anasea's arc here is that she comes to accept Osha's perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, elsewhere on the mountain, some of the witches perform some type of ceremony. It's a very short scene. I don't know what the hell's happening here either.
Yeah.
They're like standing in front of this hole, and they're all wearing robes, and then they say some stuff, and then we cut away. So if anyone has any idea what's going on there, that'd be helpful. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Osha and Mae are getting ready for the ceremony, and Osha is drawing something in her book. She's got this little triangle-shaped book. But she doesn't want to show Mae. Mae is frustrated that Osha is keeping this from her, thinking that they should share everything.
Mm-hmm.
But Osha wants independence,
yes.
right? This is kind of like the most compelling dynamic between the two of them, I think, expressed here, which is that, like, you have this belief about what our life should be.
Yes.
And because you believe that so much, you assume, again, it gets brought back to episode 1, the Jedi have a dream that believe everyone should share.
Right. Yeah.
In this case, Mae has a dream, and Mother Essay has a dream that she thinks Osha shares, but she doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is this natural, I know I have this, this desire to be a contrarian,
mm-hmm.
To say, because you want that for me, I now don't want that.
Yeah.
Specifically. I might have wanted it if you'd let me come to it on my own terms.
So stubborn.
Right?
Yeah.
If you'd just given me the freedom to choose this on my own, I might have made that decision. But you wanting me to make that decision makes me want to do it less.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I think there's a bit of contrarianism in her.
Yeah, and I guess, like, I think Mae just doesn't understand it either. Like, to Mae, she's like, what do you mean you don't want to, like, why can't you show me what you're doing? Why can't we do the same things? Like, why?
Witches are the coolest.
Yeah, like, she just doesn't get it. Like, why why Osha just doesn't want the same things.
Well, she even says, like,
we're
why?
twins.
She's like,
we're
why?
sisters. Yeah.
She just asks why in this episode, right? In this scene,
mm-hmm.
right? So anyway, they fight some more. She says, because we're not the same. And she said, of course we are, right? They're
mm-hmm.
twins. So, it's interesting to see a twin who takes the perspective that, oh no, me and my twin are the same.
Yeah.
Because usually you see them both feel that sense of wanting independence.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the samenism has been forced on them. Whereas Mae is embracing that, right? Whereas Osha's not. And again, it's cool.
Have you ever seen that? I was, like, on TLC, and it's these twins, and they have to do everything the same. It's not Mary-Kate and Ashley. I can't remember what their names, but, like, down to one of them had, like, a tooth that was rotting, so they both had to get the same tooth pulled out, even though the other twin's tooth was fine, because they were like, we can't be different.
Oh, so they both felt that way?
That's like, they're like, we can't be different, down to, like, they date the same man. Like, they're just like, yeah. They're
a lucky guy, I guess. I don't know.
No, I know.
Maybe not
wild.
so lucky because they sound like they're crazy. But yeah.
But I was like, that's wild to get a tooth pulled because your twin sister has
that
to.
is crazy.
You can't
and also,
even
like,
be that different.
Isn't like the whole, I don't know if dentists take the what's the oath that doctors take?
Hippocratic
oath about never doing harm. But removing a perfectly good tooth would be doing harm.
Yeah, it would be.
So I don't know.
I think they did have issues finding someone to do it for them because they were like, there's no reason.
Can we find a back alley dentist?
Yeah.
To pull my tooth? Yeah. Or just wrap a string around it and close a door?
Yeah, it's wild.
By the way, this is a crazy thing. I saw this headline the other day. It was like, scientists make breakthrough, believe that they can regrow human teeth.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild. Huh.
Imagine
that'd be great.
Losing a tooth and being able to just grow it back.
Yeah, like a baby.
Yeah. Because I think that's the thing. We already do that once.
You do it once. Why couldn't you do it again? And like, animals can regrow their teeth, and like sharks and stuff.
Exactly.
So why can't we?
Exactly.
Yeah. Interesting.
Technically, you grow your bones once too. You should theoretically be able to grow a new set of bones.
Well, you can when they break and stuff. They grow back together.
Well, they need.
Oh, do you mean like
help.
A lizard?
Let's say like. Well, let's come back. Let's go one step further.
Yeah.
Let's say you grew your leg once. If you lost your leg, why couldn't you grow back your leg?
Why couldn't you grow another one? Yeah, fair. Like a lizard.
Like a lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like Deadpool.
Like Deadpool.
When he's got that tiny little hand.
Or Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
This is where they say that they're the only children here. She says, we're not the same. Of course we are. It only feels that way because we're the only children here.
Yeah.
She has no perception of, which makes you wonder how Osha even got this perspective to begin with.
Yeah.
How does she know about the Jedi? How does she know about the rest of the galaxy and wanting to explore it?
Yeah.
Where did she get this sense of independence to begin with? I mean, maybe it's the nature nurture thing, but
I bet like in one of her times that she like snuck away, she's maybe talked to one of these Jedi.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think Soul was pretending to meet her for the first time? And
maybe. Yeah.
That's an interesting twist. I'd be interested in that. Yeah. Mae's response is, everything I need is here. Mm-hmm. Why would I want to go anywhere else? Everything I need is here. Right. There are people who feel that way, and that she's not wrong to have that perception. It's just wrong to force it on her sister.
Of course, yeah.
Anyway, that evening, the ceremony commences. The witches are dressed in robes and doing funky hand movements / dances. Very concerning if you're a Jedi. Anyway,
how dare those women dance?
Yeah. The chanting is so. I'll be honest. I did chuckle a little bit at the chanting of the power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
Yeah,
it's funny. Okay, I can laugh. We can all laugh.
I don't know. Have you ever been to like a church service where people like talk back?
I have,
and it can be kind of uncomfortable if you're like not about that vibe or if you haven't experienced it before.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also just thought like they'd have something more interesting to chant.
That's fair. Yeah.
Same thing that we've heard repeated a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Anyway, they're really committed to that concept.
Yeah.
So Mother Anastasia arrives and she like walks through the group. I thought this was a really striking shot.
Mm-hmm.
The way it was lit, the bluish purple robe
I
that they're all
loved
wearing,
her robes,
her cool nose ring that she's got going, her hair, everything about it.
She was like
really
her
cool.
glittery, like her robes had like they look like the night sky to them almost.
Yeah,
like they're very cool.
I just her whole look was really cool, in my opinion. And so really striking scene here. And so she arrives, walks through the people. Mother Anastasia talks about doing a ceremony that they have not done since their exile. So we get a little bit more hints at their backstory.
Mm-hmm.
So that they've been persecuted and hunted because, quote, some would consider our powers dark and unnatural.
Yeah.
I think this is, again, not a coincidence. I think the famous opera scene in Revenge of the Sith with Palpatine trying to seduce Anakin to the dark side and talking about how have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Yeah.
And how he had managed to manipulate midichlorians in such a way to create and sustain life. He could prevent the people he cared about from dying. So this, I feel like, is a direct through line. Like their point, they're like saying, remember that scene? Think about that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's happening there. Right? Are dark and unnatural. But again, what's interesting here is that we know that Darth Plagueis was a Sith. And we don't think these people are Sith.
Yeah.
In fact, we know they're not, right? They're witches, which is different. So is this like a gray spectrum side of things? Like, there's just more to know.
I mean, it could be, but it could just be also a different type of Force user, like learning the same things as Sith, or like they're kind of somewhere in between, right? Like they're
sure. And I guess like the thing with the Sith is it's a lot about it's not just about how they wield the Force, it's also about their mentality.
Exactly. Like they're whole about power and corruption and passion
and strength and fear.
Right? Exactly. So
and all that stuff. And this is like they're tapping into similar elements of the Force, but maybe through a different they're coming at it from a different way.
Yeah, because it's like not like just the Sith can do this kind of stuff, right?
Not like the Jedi are the only ones who can do this stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
to believe that the Jedi are the only ones is hubris, as Luke says. Anyway, so on the brink of extinction, but blessed with miracle, the gift of life, the twins. So this has never been. I shouldn't say that. I don't know where the official confirmation, or if it's still kind of murky from a lower perspective, is on Anakin's parentage.
Right.
Was it Darth Plagueis that created him? If so, how? We don't know. Is there some other explanation we don't know? Maybe he's a natural occurrence in the Force, Jesus style, right? Or
immaculate conception,
right? Yeah. Or is there some other thing here?
Right.
So that's a question mark. This is the same question mark.
Yeah.
These kids were brought into this world. We aren't told explicitly how. We know that the Zabrak carried them. We know that they say that Mother Anastasia created them,
and that the Jedi wouldn't like it.
And the Jedi wouldn't like it, but we don't know what that means. We don't know the how of it. I will say this: I like the idea that Anakin wasn't the only one created in that way.
Yeah,
and if it was possible to be done by the Sith, it could be done by other people who have similar understanding or depth in the Force.
Yeah, absolutely. That to me, that's a very like neat thing. Like, of course, like why would it just be a Sith thing? Like, why couldn't somebody else can dabble in those darker areas? Why wouldn't they?
Because the other one was for dudes and this one's for chicks.
Yeah. Get out of here. Chicks having kids without dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can't have that.
Yeah.
How dare we?
Where are all the dudes going to come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Dudes.
Oh,
yeah. The girls are wearing robes with gold accents, really kind of pretty cool looking. Mae is excited about this, but Osha's just sour as ever. Still looks very apprehensive. Come, claim your destiny, they're told. What the thread has tied together, no one can separate. So I guess I don't really understand exactly what that means either. What do you think they're hinting at with this, or saying with this kind of line about tying things together? Are the twins supposed to be connected in some way that they weren't previously? Or is it more of a connection to the coven?
I feel like it's a connection to the coven and to like the Force kind of thing. Like it's connecting them to that power.
Have Force ability.
They do, but maybe this gives them more. It makes them more connected.
Maybe.
So like when you become part of this coven, I would assume that maybe you can tap into like
this larger witch magic.
Exactly, like a larger group of magic or a larger group of like power.
Yeah, I think so.
Which to me is like cool because it's like the power of one, the power of many, right? Like it's they're stronger together.
Yeah, it's interesting they added the 2 in there. Be like 1, 2, lots.
Yeah, 1, 2, lots.
Anyway, they start chanting. The moons begin to align. Always fun to do ceremonies when moons are aligned.
Very cool.
The thing is, I guess maybe I'm misremembering, and I'm sure there's examples that people can point to, but have we seen Force ceremonies or anything related to the Force that is changed or amplified through planets aligning or through stars aligning or anything like that?
I don't know.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. It's a new concept also, but Star Wars always introducing new concepts,
but that's a very it's a very witchy thing.
Oh, 100%.
Like in terms 100%. Of like our own world of like things about planets aligning and that kind of stuff.
If you weren't really thinking that hard about it, I think you wouldn't even blink an eye. You'd be like, of course they're doing it when the moons align.
Yeah, you're like, it's witches.
But also,
they love that
again,
stuff.
Twins, there's twin moons.
Yeah, twin moons. Yeah,
maybe there's some sort of like spiritual connection there.
Heightened.
But, yeah. And maybe like they tapped into that originally when they were created, that kind of thing. I don't know. The moons begin to align and the music incorporates the chant. Mother Anastasia gathers the Force together. I can't describe it any other way. She packages it up.
Yeah.
And asks Mae, her full name is, by the way, Maeho Anastasia. So that we know we get her full legal name. To take a vow. Do you vow upon my death to protect the secrets of our coven and protect our legacy, but only upon her death?
Right.
And she says yes. Mae places the Force on Mae's face, creating this spiral mark on her forehead. Doesn't look to be painful, though, in any way. But Osha looks on, and she does not look excited, and she seems concerned.
Yeah.
Next, Mother Anastasia goes to Osha. Her full name is Varosha Anastasia.
Right.
And asks her to take the same vow. She says, I do, but very slowly and very reluctantly. Before Mother Anastasia can finish the ceremony, she's alerted that the Jedi have come and they've sliced the platform, which just means that they've hacked into their entry door, essentially. Which, who gave them the right?
Yeah, to break into this coven's house. Yeah. I guess they're like, you got kids in there.
We think.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he saw them.
Real space cop attitude.
Right.
I thought this whole scene was very space cop. Like,
it is,
with the way that Indara says, like, I appreciate your cooperation, feels very much like you forced this cooperation. We weren't, we
don't want you here.
Exactly.
We'd love it if you left, actually.
My preference for cops in the real world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so some of the coven grab bows. These look very similar to the bows we see the witches on Dathomir use.
That was the other thing I clocked too. I was like, oh, they use bows too.
Though they have strings, I wanted to imagine that they have no strings, and you go and grab, and then it turns into the
like the
electrical version.
Yeah,
but maybe it gets electrical as you pull the string.
Good. Yeah.
Anyway, the 4 Jedi arrive. These are the same 4 that we've been introduced to the last 2 episodes. The last one being the Wookiee.
Yes.
Again, very cop attitude, calling them her colleagues, Indara.
Colleagues, yeah.
Introduced by Master Indara. They're accused of trespassing, but they claim to have assumed the planet was inhabited.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love Mother Anastaea's like clap back here, basically being like, "Oh, the all-knowing Jedi were unaware of their surroundings."
Yeah,
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I love it.
You lying sons of bitches.
Yeah.
The Coven are hiding the kids, but Osha is too curious about the Jedi. This is another one that was like, "Come on, Osha, really? You feel like you need to get
peek.
up? Come on." Indara is concerned that that they're training children.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Anastasia insists that they aren't subject to Republic laws. She says,
"Right,
we're not part of the Republic." This made me think of the Clone Wars, because that was like the whole thing, which is like, you want us to follow these Republic laws? Well, we are actually quitting the Republic, and therefore are not subject to your laws, right?
Yeah. But again, this is very similar to like kind of what you're saying in terms of like people with religions and stuff. And it's like, you can't take what you believe in your religion
and force it
on other people into like, and how like their laws and how they govern things. Well, yeah, it's like, you can't, like, that book that you believe in is like, that's cool for you, but like, that's not, like, I don't care about that. I don't care about that book.
It's very, it reminds me about a lot of things. It reminds me like how, conservatives feel like that abortion should be illegal. It's like, well,
it's like, it's not,
who are you to say?
Yeah, it's none of your business.
Like, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool, you can feel that way, but it's still none of your business.
Right. It's like, if you want to behave that way, no one's stopping you. But I mean, if you want to live under this really draconian set of rules, hello Mormons. If you want to live under these weird rules, cool, man. But I'm not going to. I'm still going to celebrate my birthday or whatever. That's Jehovah's Witnesses.
And I know there's...
That's my bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I know that there's like society in general, there are like things like, you can't murder people and you can't do like
those are more like laws of the jungle.
Yes. But it is funny here how the Jedi are like, you can't train children, but we can. Like, I could take that kid and train them, but you're not allowed. So it's like, well, why? Like, why can't this coven...
Because they said so.
...train the kids if the kids are willing and want to, but it's because like, the Jedi are like, well, that's bad. Like, you can't do it. But like
Joseph Ricci in I think I'm saying that right, in the chat. Welcome, asking how we are. Well, although this episode did start a little rocky, with a little bit of negativity purging, but we're back on track.
We're doing good. We're doing good. Yeah.
All right. So,
but yeah, I do. I just think it's funny that the Jedi are kind of walking in here, saying like, "Hey, are you trading kids? Because only we're allowed to do that.
Hey,
give me that kid.
Give me that kid.
I gotta go test them."
Yeah, and then even Saul's like, the Jedi don't steal kids, and it's
they give them a choice, right?
But
do they? Because don't they take the babies? I don't know.
Sometimes they take babies, and it's up to the parents.
It's up to the parents. Yeah.
It's
convoluted.
not even a quarter step away from stealing babies. Yep. Like, it's not that
pretty
different.
Close.
Yeah.
Kind of close.
The who did steal babies though? The First Order. They stole babies.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, the Wookiee spots the kids. What's the name of the Wookiee again? His name is
not Tarvald.
That's
not Torben.
It does start with I want to say it starts with a T, but maybe not. Kelnaka.
Yes.
By the way, cool sides of his head shaved.
Yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah, it's neat.
I've never seen Wookiees shave any part of them. That's cool.
Real cool.
Yeah.
At first I was like, why does his head look so weird? I'm like, oh, that's why.
And then like the top knot with the side, it's like, that's a badass Jedi look.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a cool flow.
And he's like the tech guy.
Yeah.
Which is something you don't expect from the Wookiees.
Mm-hmm.
Although I guess Chewbacca was also the tech guy.
Yeah.
So
why not?
Yeah. Hey, Joseph, we're talking about the Acolyte.
Yeah.
So
Star Wars.
And we're
Acolyte.
about over halfway through this episode. So buckle up. Yeah. Mother Anastasia finds that hard to believe. Yada yada yada. Where were we? The Wookiee spots the kids. Next, Mae comes out. Osha is the first to come out. Saul introduces himself. I thought there's a really cute moment there. Next, Mae comes out, but Mother Anastasia is asked about their father. She says they have no father. We talked about this already.
Yeah.
Drawing allusions to what's her name's? What's Anakin's mom's name again?
Shvi? No. Shin? Why can't why am I
something like
Smee?
that? Shmi Skywalker.
Shmi.
Yeah.
There we go. Got it.
Yeah.
We got there.
Not to be confused with Sheev.
Sheev. I always see that's the thing. I get them confused because she's Shmi and
Sheev Palpatine. Yeah.
Yes.
No one ever calls him Sheev. It's so funny.
No, it's weird. It's
yeah.
weird name.
It's sometimes people go by their last name and that's just like, you know them. And then when you hear their first name, you're like, I prefer not to know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Saul, is, he plays the kind of the good cop here.
Mm-hmm.
Saul notices the spiral mark on Mae's forehead. She tells Indara that that wasn't there this morning, kind of giving away that he was spying on them.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, the coven gets really anxious. They're trying to steal our kids.
Mm-hmm.
He insists that they're not trying to take anyone's children. He pulls his lightsaber and it's like, oh, are they under threat? But no, he does. Instead, he gives it or hands it to Osha.
Yeah.
As an opportunity to like investigate it, look at it more, get a sense of being a Jedi. I think you would make a very good Jedi, Osha. Would you like to be tested to see if you could become one? Again, and this is the distinction between what Mother Anastasia and Mae are providing Osha, which is the freedom to choose.
Right. Yeah.
In that moment, Padawan Torben's eyes go black and he collapses in like a seizure.
Yeah.
This is like, you said possession.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Anastasia is doing it to him. She basically says, if you guys want him back, then you're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Osha wants to take the test. Mother Anastasia is not allowed to deny. She says, you cannot deny, this is from Indara, that the Jedi have the right to test potential Padawans.
Right.
With your permission, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But she adds your permission, of course, as if it's like implied that you have to give it.
Yeah, which is weird, right? It's like, it's very like, we have the right, but you have, so do you have the right or?
Who is giving you this right?
Yeah.
What is it? Is it a divine right? Divined by who?
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the thing too. It's like, do you have the right or can they give you permission? Like, so one or the other.
Right.
It can't be both. Like you can't wait for permission and
I have the right to ask
something.
your permission.
Yeah, exactly. We have the right to test them.
Right.
But we're going to ask
I guess that's like they have the right to test them if they agree to it.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
No, this is full spoilers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mother Anastasia agrees to send Osha to the Jedi encampment at noon the next day. Sol insists that both girls attend. Mother Anastasia reluctantly agrees, and the Jedi leave.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we get that "thank you for your cooperation" line from Indara, which feels also forced. Just get real space cop vibes from this crew here. Mother Anastasia calls for a meeting with her advisors. Kirill wants to make a move that night, but the other counselors, advise against that, by saying that if they drew the ire of the Republic, they would come and wipe them out.
Right.
Which is a fair, I think, to be concerned of. I do love this line. There are only 4 Jedi who would miss them.
Yeah. Just so savage, hey?
But also stark contrast to the world that we're used to, which is like 4 Jedi is a lot.
It's a lot. Right? Yeah. There's only 4 of them.
There's only 4.
Yeah.
Master Indara believes the Jedi should be allowed to test them, but and that Osha is old enough to make her own decisions about their future or about her future, but Kirill pushes back. I did not bring them into this world so we could lose them to a bunch of deranged monks.
Yeah.
Loves hearing the Jedi described as deranged monks. Mother Anastasia insists it's her decision to make, and that she's made it. She says, again, more pushback from Kirill. She says, I carried them. Mother Anastasia, I created them. Again,
right.
These are the hints we get to this kind of divine creation, but we just don't know the details.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get this like really old lady who we hadn't seen before, and I couldn't tell if it was CG or practical or a combination of the two. I think it's a combination of the two, and it looked pretty good.
Definitely, yeah.
Anyway, she chimes in about how the test works. She says it's a pass or fail. So if they fail, they have to stay.
Yeah.
I would like to see more from this lady. She seemed interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool look. The next morning, Mother Anastasia counsels the girls on failing on purpose.
Yeah.
Whatever is in your heart, say the opposite. Really solid advice.
Yeah.
Mae reminds Osha that if they take her, she'll never see their mother again, and that the Jedi are bad. And she said the Jedi are good. But again, I would like to have a better understanding of why she thinks that they're good.
Yeah, like where she gets kind of any of her knowledge from, especially Osha. Like, how do you know they're good?
Well, if they've been spent all this time together, why does Mae think they're bad, and why does Osha think they're good?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We need more information on that.
Exactly.
And then we get this great line, which is from the trailer. It's not about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And the coven's perspective is that they are not harming anybody, that this is they are practicing their faith and that they should have the right to do so. And the Jedi's perspective is not that.
Yeah. They're like, you
that
can't.
You are dangerous, that you are indoctrinating children, and that unsanctioned force use is against the law or whatever.
And we would like to indoctrinate those children.
It's our job to indoctrinate children. We have the right to ask your permission to indoctrinate your children.
But even if the girls pass the test, can't they still say no? Like if they don't want to leave their family, they're not going to take them.
But I guess what she's saying is that if she fails, she doesn't have the option to say yes.
Right. Yes.
Anyway, we get this line about how she's very powerful. And Mae tells Osha that it's okay to want something now, but as she grows, that her wants will change like the seasons. This is again her kind of trying to give her every opportunity to kind of come to the decision that no, I'm better off staying with my family than leaving with strangers.
Right. Yeah.
I do think that and Mae points this out, Osha points this out in this moment, which is like your seasons analogy is kind of not great because seasons change, but ultimately stay the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, so prior to because they go back to what they were before. Prior to the Jedi test, that they have landed their ship in this field. The music gets this big swell as Osha sees their ship and is like in awe of it. And she doesn't want to lie, but Mae makes her promise that she'll lie to fail the test. And she does so in okay, I promise, which doesn't feel like a very good promise.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Wookiee is working on a speeder while Mae does her test. Osha goes over to check it out, and they kind of have this like little back and forth. Osha's test is next. Once aboard, Osha has her blood taken by Torben. Again, similar to think of Anakin here and his midichlorian test.
Yeah.
And Osha asks about his lightsaber. He says, "Does everyone get one?" And after much training is the answer to that. The way he says it with a lot of reverence, and I actually appreciated his line read there. Next, the test begins. You must divine what images appear on the testing screen. This makes me think of... Guess what movie this makes me think of?
What?
Starship Troopers. They do this test in Starship Troopers.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. With Neil Patrick Harris, it's so funny. Anyway, same idea. This is people do these tests in real life, but there's no one's psychic in real life, so it's stupid. But it is. And so in this case, it makes more sense because they have force abilities.
Yeah.
And so she is shown a Loth cat. She says it's a spaceship. She says she's told that's correct, and that like irks her a little bit. I love how Soul is messing with her here. Yeah. It's so funny.
You can just tell.
Yeah. Space. And then the next one, she's shown a space station. She says it's a mountain. She's told it's correct again. She's like, that isn't it. Yeah. And then she gives herself away. Classic kid move.
Yeah.
And then she's told that she's asked, I guess, did someone tell you to fail this on purpose? And, she's shy about answering. But Indara, kind of inherently understands why that would be the case. She says, they don't want to have you separated from their family, so they told you to fail, which, to be honest, smart move.
Yeah.
And so she kind of figures that out. But Soul probes further, asking her what she wants, which is, in some ways kind of playing into her weakness here, which is that she wants to be given the power to make her own decisions, right? Even though she's only 8, right? He tells her about how he was only 4 years old when he was tested. He says that he knew he was different from his family and that he felt a connection to the Jedi despite being afraid to leave his family. He was reassured that there were other children like him and thousands of them.
Right.
And this is like this big moment for Osha. She's
that
like,
peaks.
Yeah. She's like, oh, thousands of other kids like me. Right. I think there's maybe a lack of kind of, maybe we lose appreciation for the things that we have, but you have a sister who's also like exactly like you.
Yeah. But right? I think for her, I think it's not about having like one person. It's about not being special, I think. Because she keeps being told, you're special, you can't do this because you're special, you're important, all this kind of stuff. But if there's thousands of kids just like her, then she's not...
She has a community.
Yeah, she has a community, but then she can kind of like go off and do things because she's not, special. She's not the only one. Right. She doesn't have to be super protected and hidden and all this kind of stuff.
You must have the courage to say what you want, says Soul to Osha. And she says, I want to be a Jedi. then you must have the courage to tell the truth. I think these are like solid Jedi-isms.
Yeah.
I'm going to start calling them that. The courage to speak your truth, I guess. I've always had a hard time with this idea of your truth because I feel like it creates this idea that there is no
wrong.
There's no that whatever you think is your truth is you can get away with anything. I feel like that's been weaponized, so I don't really like that idea.
Yeah, I feel like you always see this. I'm like, I'm just speaking my truth.
Yeah, it's like, well, your truth is dumb.
Wrong. You're still wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. No, I feel that exactly 100%.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what's happening here, to be clear. Anyway, so Indara wants them to continue the test. Osha leaves the ship. Her head is hung low, and Mae just inherently understands what's happened, gets pissed, and runs away. So back at the fortress, Mae is upset that she broke her promise. Osha didn't want to lie, which I think is an admirable idea. And it's funny that, Mother Anastasia is like, if it only were so simple, right? And Krill thinks that they used a mind trick on her. She insists that it wasn't. And that, she doesn't want to share her life with Mae. She doesn't want to be a witch, and she wants to see the galaxy, right? Again, would like to know why she wants to see the galaxy. Where did she learn about the galaxy?
Yeah.
Mae gets super upset, and she says, "What's wrong with you?" And screams and has a little temper tantrum here. So Mother Anastasia and Osha have a one-on-one, and I think this is the most heartfelt scene of the whole episode, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There are tears shed. Not by me, but almost.
Yeah.
Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force. You get to make a decision. You get to make a choice, Osha. If you want to pull a thread, then pull it. As I always say to people, if you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
So we talked about this earlier. I'm not going to retread this too much, but this idea that the way that they look at the force is that these different threads, a tapestry, which is kind of how the Night Sisters talk about it. There are different pathways, and that she gets to choose which one she takes. I was just still worried about not seeing her mom, but and Mother Anastasia confirms this, which is, I feel like, a pretty hard thing to say to your kid. She's like, "I will never see you again." She said, "You won't." Yeah, that's hard. Right? Yeah. But the right decision. This is like these are hard choices that Mother Anastasia is making, but the right ones, which I think is, you get a lot of respect for her.
Yeah.
Fear should not make this decision for you. You should. This is another one of those almost Jedi-isms about.
I was going to say,
fear.
To me, that is like a way more like light side way to look at something, where it's just like you can't, let fear decide things for you, exactly, or make your choices for you. You got to look past it or get past it.
Right. And she says, "I want to be a Jedi, Mama." I do. They hug very sweetly. Mother Anna says she needs to talk about it with the others, but they'll consider her wish. She sheds a tear here, knowing that she's kind of lost her daughter.
Yeah.
And then they say, "I love each other," and then I almost cried, but didn't.
It was very heartfelt.
I thought the emotions here were good, and this is Osha, the actress who plays Osha. Little Osha is
Lauren.
Yeah,
Brady.
Lauren Brady. This is her best performance. In the episode, and her least bratty.
Yeah, this is like the kind of the thing that I've always like never loved about the Jedi. Right, is like you never get to see your family again.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to build any attachments, right? But then you still have this like master Padawan relationship that a lot of them kind of still have connections and attachments to, and somewhat. So I do still want to see
that's because the Jedi are hypocrites. I don't know.
I know. Yeah. I still just want to see like a new age Jedi story where they're allowed to have attachments and they're allowed to have families.
Well, I think that's what the Rey.
Yeah.
I think that's the. No, I don't know for sure. We don't
don't know,
but there's the opportunity for the Rey New Jedi Order movie to be more in line with that.
I would love to just see that. Yeah. And just, see something a little different.
Because what do we know about the Jedi? Like, who are the Jedi we like the most? We like Qui-Gon, we like Ahsoka, we like Anakin, we like Obi-Wan. Yeah. All of these characters have human connections to others and are not Mace Windu.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Mace Windu's cool, but like he's not likable.
No. No, he's not.
So Osha is packing a little backpack, also another little connection to Anakin. Deciding to leave her stuffed blue horse behind, though.
Yeah.
Before she leaves, she grabs her book, which we see the drawing. Looks like the Jedi symbol.
Yeah.
But also maybe like Palpatine's throne from Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, interesting.
So, it's in a triangle, which is the shape of the Sith holocron. So there's all those potential.
Yeah, triangle isn't the most, what's the word? Ergonomic notebook shape.
No, it's not. It doesn't. But I mean, it's space stuff, so
yeah,
that's how
it's
it's
true.
gonna work. And also, it's a book, which is something we rarely see in Star Wars at all.
Mhm.
Remember, you just got to think that you
It's
rarely
true.
ever see a written page.
Yeah, it's
Right.
true.
So Mae arrives, but says she won't let her leave, and then and Osha's like, "What do you mean? You can't stop me. You're not making any sense." And so I did think this is a little weird, but I think it's intentionally weird.
Mhm.
It's supposed to put us off.
Yes.
Mae says she'll kill her to stop her,
Mhm.
stealing her book and locking her in the room. Mae takes a lantern from the wall, burns the book. Osha yells for help from her mother, but when she turns back around, the whole door is consumed in fire,
Mhm.
which happens very fast. How does that happen? We're not sure.
Right.
Osha takes apart a wall panel, opening a small passage that leads to a larger passage behind the wall. She climbs through, escaping the fire, traveling through this dark and dusty passage. Osha hears a loud banging sound and screaming.
Mhm.
Again, this is another, like, they included it because they're going to show us this later.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
We don't know what this is. That's probably when they all died.
Yeah.
And when, whatever. So she arrives at the reactor room to see it melting down. It explodes, separating Mae and Osha over a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Cool explosion. Mae tells Osha that Mother SN is dead. The way that, this is what I mean by, like, the line readings feel a little stilted.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like, Mother, she's dead. And it's
Mhm.
like, that's a weird way of saying it, but okay. And then you get this, like, triple, what have you done?
Yeah.
Which feels like one have you done too many.
Yeah.
And also, I think, is that what Padme says to Anakin after he murders the children in the?
Yeah. What have you done?
Oh no,
Could
that's what Obi-Wan says.
Oh yeah.
To Anakin, I think. If I feel like there's a
Someone
what have you
says
done in there somewhere?
Yeah.
Right. I'm bringing order to our new empire.
Yeah.
Our new empire. We're supposed to fight for democracy. Anyway, Mae falls from the bridge. Sol arrives just in time to catch Osha, not able to save. So when he says he wasn't able to save Mae and he was able to save Osha, we understand what he means by that. That feels like an accurate representation of his perception of the events.
But as we know in Star Wars, just because you fall down a hole doesn't mean you die.
In fact, it could mean it probably means you're totally fine.
Yeah.
As they make their way out of the fortress, we see much of the coven is dead, and we see Mother Anastaea's body, but we have no time to stop and wait.
Mhm.
So Saul ushers her out as the place burns down. We see a wide shot of the burning fortress. Big, I would say, dark side music
Mhm.
plays, and then we cut to black. We're now aboard the Jedi ship. This is basically the only scene that doesn't take place on the planet.
Right.
Osha wakes up, and we don't see a single droid in this whole
No.
episode. What a shame. Osha wakes up with a breathing mask on. Sol is there to greet her, saying that they're on their way to Coruscant, and that Mae started a fire that destroyed everything.
Mhm.
He says, it killed blank. Basically, Osha learns that her family is dead and that she'll be safe on Coruscant and will be trained as a Padawan, which he makes that promise. This is very similar to the promise that was made to Anakin
Mhm.
before the council got a say.
Right.
Right? He says, you'll never feel like this again. I promise.
Yeah.
It's a nice, he does a good job of comforting her. This is another example of a Jedi who has human
he has
emotion.
compassion, and he does. And I feel like these two kind of have a bit of like a connection between the two of them. Yeah.
Almost like an immediate one. But,
yeah.
And you could complain about that if you want. I guess this feels like a shortcut.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to black again. I appreciate these cuts to black because it really, I think, solidifies the impact of these moments,
Mhm.
right? So, and we're back at the Bunta tree. Mae is there looking for Osha. She had said this is where she goes to look for Osha when she can't find her.
Right, yeah.
She's not there. This is why she assumes she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Mae. Mae's perception is she falls through, survives, goes to the tree. If she had lived, she would have met her there.
Yeah.
Assume she's dead. And then is, I guess, stranded on the planet alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Osha's perspective. She sees her fall, presumably to her death.
Yeah.
Saved by the Jedi. Nothing that can be done.
Yeah.
So that sets up what we know from the previous episodes.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the episode. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, I don't think it deserves the hate, and I don't know. And yeah, I just think obviously it's going to be very interesting to see what Mae saw after she lit that notebook on fire, because there's got to be more obviously that happened in the background there onto why Torben has such guilt.
There's a million
why
questions.
she wants to kill all the Jedi still. So like there's obviously something else has happened. Like so they obviously specifically pan away after she lights that notebook on fire, and they don't show you how that whole fire starts, because like I feel like it wasn't actually like her that starts the whole big fire. So
yeah,
we shall see.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll have to see that stuff. There's no way you could get away with showing what we saw and never showing the rest of it, because it's just not complete enough. I guess you could make the argument that we're only ever going to see Osha's perspective because that's the main character of the show. But I think that clashes with what we've heard from Leslie Headland. So I don't think that's going to be the case. Here's the thing I really appreciate with the show. I have no idea where this is going to go. I have no clue. Next week could be another flashback. Could be a flash forward. There's a million things that could happen. I have no idea what the course of this is going to be. I think we'll get more sense of things. Right now, we're at a place where they've told kind of the first third of the story, basically.
Yeah.
We know their origin, enough of their origin. We know the inciting incident of the kind of modern, quote unquote, contemporary story that is driving the plot. And now we have a little bit more characterization and backstory to build it on. That's enough of a foundation of a story. I don't know how this is going to end. As we know, it can't end with, the Sith are back.
Yeah.
Right? The Jedi can't feel that way. So it has to be, something else has to happen. We need to know more about what happened in this fire tragedy.
Right.
There's lots of questions still. I think that's exciting. There's a lot of unknowns. There's been times in the past with Star Wars where it's been felt very predictable. This is not one of them.
No.
And I think that's worth
refreshing.
Some appreciation.
Yeah, it's nice.
Well, on that final note, don't be a hater and
give it a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Give it a chance. And we'll be back next week, next Wednesday, for season 1, episode 4, which does not have a title. I would tell you, but it's not available.
Not there yet.
I will say this: odd that they went away from the like twin.
The split.
Lost found, right? Lost. One of the. So what are the names? Let's go back and look at it quickly before we. Give me 1 second here. So for episode 2, it was loading Revenge and Justice, right? Osha wants justice. Mae wants revenge, right?
I have a theory, but
you're gonna hold it?
No, I'll hold it until you go through the rest there. Sorry.
And then the first episode was Lost and Found.
Yeah.
Right. The Osha was lost. Mae discovered to be alive, still found to still be alive. Those are kind of like the super like high level perception on the whole twin concept here.
But maybe because this was more a Osha censored episode, that's why it's Destiny, and then maybe next week we'll get Fate.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that's a great idea, because I just think it's weird to be like, we're gonna do this like twin concept for 2 episodes. And then we'll just drop it immediately.
Yeah, but I was like, maybe the 4th episode we get Fate, because we have one Destiny, and then we have Fate, and then maybe they'll do them double again.
Okay, so get this.
What?
IMDb has these all listed as top rated episodes, and they're 5.9, 5.7, and 3.9.
I don't know.
Before we were in the Bad Batch stuff, only certain episodes were rated. But
do they mean top rated? Like it's been rated the most times?
Maybe?
Like they have the most.
They have a lot of ratings. So this one has 10,000. Episode 2
maybe that's
has
why
almost 10,000. Episode 3 has 5.5 thousand. To me, those numbers do seem high.
Yeah,
which makes them seem unrealistic.
Like, go to like Andor. I want to see like.
What the numbers are?
Like how many people were rating episodes of Andor?
Totally
I would like
look
to
at all
just
the episodes.
like even just like first episode.
Yeah, we need something to compare this to.
Yeah. Like, is it an outworldly number or?
Listen, it has an 8. The show itself is an 8.4.
Yeah.
Out of 10. So we have 15,000 episodes, but this has also been out for a lot longer.
No, I know it has.
Right.
Yeah.
So episode 1, 15,000. Episode 2, 14,000. But neither of those are top rated.
Yeah.
And then 15,000 for episode 3 and an 8.5, which is almost a full point higher than episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah. Or even like the last season of the Bad Batch. I'm curious like how many, but I mean, I guess maybe not as many people are watching an animated series.
Yeah, no, it's not. But like, okay, 15, 13K, 12K, 17K. every episode of this is also top rated, with the exception of episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know where they get that top rating
that's
from.
probably accurate because episodes 1 and 2 are the not the best of the series. Everything else is like unreal good. So that seems realistic to me. Hold on. Let's double check. What about Ahsoka?
Yeah.
That'll be a better comparative. Another show that a lot of people didn't like. So this one has a 7.5 out of 10, 114,000 reviews on the show, not on a per episode basis. So on a per episode basis, 17K, 16K,
right.
15K, 23K. But again, these have been out longer.
Yeah.
They're all top rated also. This is now I just don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I don't know.
And like starting, nothing's worse than a 7.7 though. So it seems like people did genuinely like this.
Yeah.
Which makes like these extremely low numbers seem suspect again.
Yeah, it does seem a little too low.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like it's
10,000 one-star reviews. Come on.
Yeah, like that's what I mean.
That's like that'd be like as if the effects were unfinished and
yeah, like the show isn't dog shit. Like it's like I don't know. It doesn't. Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, exactly. Let's be realistic here, guys.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we'll be back next week with season 1, episode 4. May the Force be with you. And also, what do they say? The power of many.